What's going on, everybody? You tuned in to Tactical Skill in Our Defense. It is your favorite gun on the Checking In, Jay Skilly. May God bless each and every one. You continue to take care of one another and get to know the gun laws in your states, around states, when traveling. YouTube, there is no sales of any kind of firearms or modification of any type of firearms on this channel. Y'all, we're going to jump into what happened Sunday down in Louisiana. And man, unfortunately, we had a father, and I'm sorry, y'all, this is gonna hit home for me, and I'll tell you the reason why. Execute 8 children. 7 was of his own, and the 8th one was a cousin of the 7 that got executed. YouTube, this is for educational purposes only. This is not to make a mockery of anything or anybody. And so let's get into the story, and then I'm going to speak on how I feel as a father has lost a child through health reasons. And then I'll go through a couple things, and then we're going to wrap this video up. Because this is definitely a hard one. And first of all, this I wouldn't even consider a mass shooting. Anytime there's more than 2 people involved in a shooting, the United States calls it a mass shooting. This is a shooting of, unfortunately, 8 children getting executed by a grown man. Let's just call it what it is. This is not a mass shooting. But that's what the United States call it. When it's more than 2 people involved, it's considered a mass shooting. So let's hit a news clip, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about this story and this situation.
To some heartbreaking news, our nation saw its deadliest mass shooting in years when a Louisiana man shot and killed 8 children this morning. Tonight we're learning more about that gunman, Shamar Elkins, who was the father of 7 of those 8 slain children. Tonight, the community of Shreveport has been left shattered. The children, 3 boys and 5 girls, ranging in age from 3 to 11.
Police say the crime scene spans 2 houses. It ended when officers opened fire on the gunman during a police chase. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pulliam is live now with new details tonight. Tim?
Liz Jory, we now know the names of the 8 kids shot and killed, and we're also learning that the shooter had ties to the military and was known to police. This is a Facebook image of the Louisiana man law enforcement believe is a cold-blooded killer. Shreveport police identifying him as Shamari Elkins, the alleged gunman who shot and killed 8 kids. At least 7 of them were his own flesh and blood. The coroner released their names. A total of 7 siblings and a cousin ranging in age from 3 to 11. Jayla, Shayla, Kayla, Layla, Markada, Soraya, Kedarian, and Braylon. Neighbors mourn their deaths at the crime scene.
This is not a freaking joke. This is real. And this is the result when someone snaps.
Police are still trying to determine what motivated the shooting. The attack began before sunrise when police say the suspect shot a woman at one home and then drove to another house to unleash more violence.
The gray house is the house in which 7 children were located inside that were deceased. There was an additional deceased child that looked like he had tried to escape the residence out the back on the roof.
Officers say a second woman was shot and is believed to be the mother of the suspect's children. Both women are now in the hospital in critical condition. Officers fired at the suspect during a chase after he carjacked the vehicle at gunpoint. ABC News reporting the 31-year-old joined the Louisiana National Guard in 2013 and served 7 years without being deployed. The shooting took place in House Speaker Mike Johnson's district. He offered thoughts and prayers to the family. The shooting impacting people beyond Louisiana. The mayor of Shreveport highlighting that in his statement that reads in part, "Tragedy like this does not belong to one family alone. It belongs to all of us. Today, our community is grieving the unimaginable loss of innocent children. There are no words that can make sense of it, and no distance that shields us from it."
Take out this evil out of our nation, out of our parish, out of our city, out of our lives, God. We know mental illness is real, God.
This attack, considered one of the deadliest mass shootings in Louisiana, the community asking for prayers.
This community community needs you. I need you. Because how do we get through this?
According to the FBI, domestic violence crimes are up. Between 2020 and 2024, law enforcement reported more than 11,000 domestic violence murder victims. In this case, investigators are still trying to figure out what led up to this shooting. Tim Pulliam, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
Tim, thank you. If you or someone you know needs help in regards to domestic violence, there are resources available. You can call 1-800-799-SAFE or text the word START to 88788. Help is available 24/7 and in multiple languages.
All right, so I'm gonna break this down into 6 things, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. That story really pisses me off, and I'll get to the reason why the story really pisses me off. First, we're gonna address the mental health aspect of the story. To people in office, and the people that wants to make a difference, that holds them chairs like city council. She said, how do we get through this? And as you're saying, they put a number that you can call if you're facing domestic violence. Men or women. Let's not get it twisted. Men face it just as well as women. The first thing, as far as the mental health thing is concerned, years ago, they closed down mental facilities here in the United States. If you have health insurance, go to your doctor, get you some pills. That's about the best they're going to do for you as far as the government is concerned. Reason. What is his reason for doing what he did? You will wonder that for the rest of your lives. He's gone. As you heard, he got killed, shot, down by police. So people, stop wondering what the reason is. There's no valid reason for harming children. I don't care whether you had an issue with their mother or mothers, whatever that issue was, them was innocent children. And the fact that 7 of them was your own really is mind-boggling to me. And wanting to harm your own. You're there as a father to protect the ones that you have created. Whether you out there hoeing, I ain't gonna say hoeing, but hoe-moggling, whatever you're out there doing, at the end of the day, if they put you on child support, there's a price you're gonna have to pay for that little bit of time of having fun. Wrap it up, please, because there's no reason for what he did to his own and to one of their cousins. There's no reason. I don't care what the news come up with. I don't give a rat's, you know what, of the reason that they might come out with later on. Doesn't make a difference to me. Them children should have never been harmed. Them women should have never been harmed. And so you have to deal with sleeping with women that you have spreaded yourself thin with multiple or one baby mother. Okay? Government. What is the real issue? Government don't want to address the real issue that's going on here in the United States. I guarantee you now, there's going to be 1,000 there's going to be 1,000 within the next couple weeks on gun control. That is the government's solution to everything here in the United States when it comes to gun violence. They're patching it up with a Band-Aid instead of dealing with the real issue here in the United States. So people, don't be, and I'm talking to my 2A community, don't be surprised if Louisiana comes out with all type of mental gun law restrictions and all that. Don't be surprised within the next couple of weeks that they're going to try to push gun control. Gun control hasn't worked since. We probably have over 100,000 gun laws on the book to try to reduce gun violence. That has not worked, and we keep on coming up with the same solution of gun control. You know, they tell you, if you continue to do the same thing and expect a different result, then you're insane. That's the United States government's thinking. Well, if we do more gun control, then we can stop gun violence. That's being ignorant. That's being stupid. To something that hasn't worked, and I don't know how, since I've been born. And since I've been, within the last 10 years, carrying a firearm. Government, get your head out your asses and let's start talking about the real issues here in the United States. And let's stop pushing gun control. Gun control does not work. Gun control does not work, okay? Protection. Men and women. We ignore signs. They're there. Let's be 100. Let's talk real. A lot of times they don't come out immediately. Let's get it straight. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they come out immediately and we still ignore the truth. It starts by little things. Mind control. You know, tell me where you're going every time you leave this house. It'll start with something like that. Just a little bit of something like that. Well, I need your location. I need you to call me when you get to where you're going. It starts off with the little things like that that we ignore. Well, I want you to wear this. You can't put that on. It starts with the little things that we ignore. And it turns up into now verbally being abused and now then eventually physically being abused. Pay attention. Let's not fall in love with what you see. But let's start paying attention, as we say in the gun world, paying attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to that person. See how that person moves before you start having children and before it gets physically violent. And that's what I just saw: violence, domestic violence, protection. Let's be able to protect ourselves. And if you have children, being able to protect yourself and your children. I'm going to give you an example that a couple years ago, a young lady had 2 children by this young man. He was supposed to have been going to anger management. He decides that he wants to stop by this young lady's house, the children of his mother's house, and kick her door in. Well, he goes in her kitchen and grabs a knife. He crosses over her bedroom threshold. She hits him right here in the middle of the head. Takes him down immediately. Protect yourself and protect your babies. I don't condone violence, but we have to stop living in this fantasy world that this stuff does not happen. It hasn't happened before. Women use children all day long, and I've experienced it firsthand, not with me and my children, but a family member using children as a pawn. It happens all the time. Men are out here trying to take care of their children, but the woman is making it 10 times more harder to be able to be there for them, for their children. It happens, fellas. I'm not saying it does not happen. But fellas, let's stop thinking with this down between your legs and let's start thinking with this. We ignore. That's reality. We ignore signs that's already there that you could have been got out of this. But I'm going to say this. The government calling a hotline ain't going to get a woman or a man out of a situation with another person with a gun. Let's be 100 with it. Calling them all day long is not going to get them out their situation. Resources mean you got somewhere for me to go, somewhere where I am protected, somewhere where I can, get my pistol license to be able to protect myself if he runs up on me or she runs up on me in a threatening situation. This calling a hotline ain't gonna do nothing for the men or women that's facing a domestic violence. That's only gonna put them in harm's way. Unfortunately, that's reality. That's reality. You're gonna put them in harm's way, unfortunately, and not give them the resources to be able to defend themselves or be able to get themselves out of that situation. Because more than likely, they're dependent on that person to help take care of them. In most cases, I'm not saying in all, but in most cases, they're depending on that spouse or they're depending on that person as far as financially. If you can't provide them financially, a place for them to stay, a way to be able to take care of themselves and them kids, that's wasting time. Okay, talking to somebody, I get it. That's not wasting time. Let me take that back. Talking to someone is very important. You need somebody that's going to, be there emotionally. But you also need somebody that's going to be there financially. Financial is the biggest thing that they face in getting out of a lot of these domestic violence situations. So the government has to be able to financially help these people out while they're trying to get back on their feet. And that goes out to city council. That goes out to the mayor, being able to open up programs, housing, to be able to put these people in so they can start over. Not only that, to be able to protect themselves just in case they do have to defend their children and themselves in a situation like you just saw. The government don't talk about the big picture. They're going to cover it up, guarantee you with it. Well, we need to have more gun control in Louisiana. Gun control don't help victims like this. It only hurts victims like this. Because these children had nothing to do with what he had going on with their mother. All right. And I just talked about resources. The reason why this particular story hits home for me, because I've lost 2 children. Not because of gun violence, but because of health issues, health-related issues when it came to my children. The first one is Jemiah Rose Sims, which has been my oldest daughter, my oldest child. My wife, we lost her due to a stillborn. She was a stillborn. We named her. We got stuff for her. We was ready to bring her home, but unfortunately, we lost her before my wife could have her. You have my second, which is Jamal Antonio Sims, named after me, but he's not a junior. I'm not a senior. Then my third child, which is Amaya Drea Sims. And then it would have been my youngest, which she had a miscarriage. And so this hits home for me because to this day, I wonder what my children would be like. How would they have turned out? But unfortunately, we didn't be able to see that from my oldest and my youngest, which we lost for 2 different reasons because of health scare. This one is heavy. And I challenge congressmen that's in them seats to really look at the big picture. Gun control is not the answer to this story. And I know it's coming. Mental health and gun control is going to be the topic of what went on in this situation. Was he mentally disturbed? I don't know. I'm not getting into that. He had something going on to snap and to take his own children's lives. 7, and then a cousin of theirs, which makes 8. I don't care what the reason is. In my eyes, when you're wrong, you're wrong. And he was dead wrong. He was absolutely wrong for taking out innocent children in whatever he was going through. was not worth these children's lives. I challenge Congress, I challenge the government to start looking at the bigger picture, because y'all have been preaching gun control, and gun control is not working. And I've been told by a wise woman, my grandmother, if you keep doing the same thing and you expect a different result, you're absolutely insane. Congress, government, city councils, mayors, gun control is not the answer to situations as such as this one. I challenge y'all guys that's in them seats to look at the bigger picture. I'm about 100% that this is going to be about gun control and mental health. Did he have a mental health? I don't know. But I challenge people in them seats to start looking at this gun violence here in the United States a little bit different than what y'all been looking at it the last couple centuries, the last couple decades. Let's try something different. You know, we got somebody in New York that literally had a criminal record spanning over a decade, went on the subway and lit this woman on fire. Been had issues, been somebody that you cannot rehabilitate. I mean, rehab is not in his future. So a woman had to get burned alive in order for y'all to really realize that this guy cannot live in society and be a modern citizen in New York. It takes for a woman to almost lose her life. I don't know if she lost her life. I got to go look. But she was clinging on, in a coma from being burnt alive. I challenge the mayor, I challenge city council to start looking at these cases and stop telling me that gun control is the answer. Gun control is not the answer to a lot of these situations that's going on here in the United States. I don't like to play God, I'm not God. But at the end of the day, people like that has a long history of violence in and out of prison, that they cannot get the death penalty. He's a danger. When you can pour gasoline on somebody and light them on fire, you are a danger to society, and you should be either put down like the dog that you are. Excuse my language, but you should be put down like the dog that you are. And stop using gun control as an excuse for the people that's in that seat, and start looking at these situations a lot differently, because it's not doing anything. People are still getting hurt. People are still losing their lives because government keeps doing the same dumb stuff and expecting a different result. That's being an idiot. That's being insane. That's being dumb. We got people in seats that's being dumb. They don't deserve these seats, and looking at situations like this as gun control. No, these are young men and women that have lost their lives due to a idiot on whatever situation he got going on with the moms or mom, to he wants to now take it out on the children. And now he has killed 7 of his own and 1 of their cousins in the process. I'm sorry this video is so long. It's going to be right around 26 minutes. I tried to make it short, but man, it's starting to irk. It's been irking my nerves with this gun control thing. Guarantee y'all that's going to be the headlines. Mental illness in gun control is going to be the front line of these children getting murdered by their own father. And eventually one of their own cousins. Man, y'all be safe. And man, I challenge government once again, and I challenge local city councils, I challenge local mayors to really look at this situation and look at it differently than what y'all been looking at the last couple decades. Calling someone, for someone to hear you is good, but mayors and city councils, money is what's going to help them get out their situations. So if you don't have programs set up to where they can get out that situation, start over, get up on their feet right away, you're wasting their time. Because they have to go, well, they don't have to go back, but they have to deal with the situation at hand. A lot of them don't have family members that are going to take them in. So if you're asking them to leave their situation, then you need to have something financially in place for them to be able to get out that situation, where they can get on their free feet right away, where they can get a job, where they can get some free child care, where they can have resources available to be able to get on their feet to get themselves out of that situation. If you're not financially going to help these people, then shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Calling someone to talk to someone is perfectly fine, but if you encourage them to get out their situation, have a financial plan for them. Have a job set up for them. Have a child care set up for them. If you don't have them things in place, then they're going back to the same thing. Or they're going to be homeless trying to figure this out. So my thing is, if you're not there to help them financially, then you're wasting their time to tell them to leave. Yeah, I can leave, but financially, where am I going to get the funds to be able to take care of me and my children? Sorry, y'all. This one really hit home for me. I did not mean to take this much time, but man, this pisses me off to the core because I've lost 2 children. One we named, one we was ready to bring home. My oldest and my youngest. Miscarriage on my youngest. We didn't get to name that one. We didn't know the sex of that one. But my first one we did. We named her and everything. And as a father, to see another father takes his own children's life because whatever reason he decided to get up that morning and do that Sunday morning, it's not a good enough reason for me. Sorry. If you thought them kids weren't yours, we spend bull crap on bull stuff. You could have easily spent that on making sure them children weren't yours if you was going to be that way. My thing is, a lot of men take on this responsibility, but in the back of their mind, they like, well, this ain't really mine. Well, if you think it wasn't yours from the beginning, you knew she had 9 months to go. As soon as that baby pop out, request a blood test. That way you don't have to wonder, am I taking care of a child that's not mine that I don't want to take care of? Have a mental breakdown. Get child support taken out your check. You avoid all of that by just going down there to make sure it's yours or not. And if it's yours, take the responsibility. Let's stop being kids. Let's be adults. Let's you decide to lay down with a person. You know, hopefully that person, and I'm not saying all women are bad, but hopefully that woman will let you take care of that child, and y'all can be on one accord to give that baby a healthy environment over mom's and dad's house. We gotta wake up, man. We expecting, we doing the same thing, but expecting a different result, and that's insanity to me. If I'm an alcoholic, I go to the store and get me something to drink every day, and I'm thinking it's going to be a different outcome. I'm a fool. I'm a fool. And that's the same thing with these politics. This has nothing to do with gun control. This has nothing to do with mental health. This is a father that snapped. For whatever reason, he decided to snap and decide Sunday was the day he was going to take out his own children. And unfortunately, one of their cousins was part of the execution of his own children. We have to start looking at situations and situations like this under another lens. Not under the lens of gun control, not under the lens of mental health, but we have to look at this under another lens. And that's just what it is. Man, y'all be safe, man. It's your homeboy. And it's your homeboy, your homeboy. It is your favorite guy on the checking out, Jay Skilly, man. My condolences to them 8 children, to the families of them 8 children, man. I know this is going to be a hard one. Man, this has definitely shook me to my core. Man, the last week I've been reading nothing but men trying to take the lives of their own children. I talked about it Sunday with the guy with taking the milk over to her mother's house, and he ends up putting antifreeze in the baby's milk. You got him taking 7 of his own children out. It's just, for some reason this week I've been looking at nothing but fathers trying to take out or either taking out their own children. It's ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. All right, man. Y'all be good. Peace.